Alright folks, I'm going to go over. I just did a video on C sharp minor / E major, and based on the video I didn't want to just not post it, but I didn't like the vantage point I had it, so I moved the camera over here more this way. I already mentioned the injury I'm dealing with in this arm, the tear in the bicep and the shoulder, so I haven't played for several weeks because of the injury. But I can go easy, so I'm going to go back over that C sharp minor / E major slow, like you know, like for beginners, if you will, or whatever. Lowest point on the fretboard, starting at the C sharp minor. Pentatonic is a C sharp, an E, a G, F sharp, a G sharp, B, and back to the C sharp. Alright, so those notes I named, we're going to start with the F sharp part of it. F sharp, G sharp, and when you work these, this is a good way to get really good at your pentatonic on the fretboard. Use these fingers. You don't have to, when you create a phrase or a solo, use whatever fingers you want. But to develop from ground zero, start with the middle finger, baby finger at the 2nd fret at the F sharp. 3 in a row. Then the 1st finger, and you got to step over. Now that's a C sharp sound, but if I play them same notes but lean towards the E, you'll hear the E major. Alright, so the next position up from that is starting with the G sharp note, and you'll use 1st finger, baby finger. Or if you want the C sharp sound, then you lean towards the C sharp note. Alright, you want the E major sound? Same way. Now I want to go and start creating right away. So this position. Next position up, you'll start with your middle finger on the B note, and it's this shape. There's numbness in my fingers till I had the surgery and get this fixed. You know, the fingers go numb right away. There's a little bit of discomfort in there. It's because of the injury. So, but at least I can play a little bit. And then you start at the C sharp note, and you've got your number 1 position of C sharp minor pentatonic, which would be starting with the C sharp note, the very common shape most all guitar players know. Right? And the last one, before we come repeat this shape we started with down here, we started the E note with the middle finger, baby finger. All right, so what did we do here? Where were we? And then what I would do with them, once you got all the blocks down, yeah, see my hands, is even the circulation there, whatever, the hand gets numb and cold real easy. So I would then start tying them together. Then you can start creating with it. Whatever. So you just start creating with it. You know, if you want the major flavor, where am I? So just start tying them together. And then take your, this is the key of E major / C sharp minor. If you want to lean heavy towards E major, just take your basic chords. Just, you know, E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A, B, C sharp minor, and then E flat diminished. Or up here. Back to. Learn that. Learn your do, re, mi on the whole fretboard, and you start getting, you can create all kinds of stuff. I'm just being sloppy, but I'm just making shit up with the do-re-mi. So learn your pentatonic on the whole fretboard, get to where you can tie them together, and then if you want to, like I'll do that, I'll pick a key, in this case E major, and I'll just noodle in that key, and I'll just stay focused in that key and just make things up. Well, this one's in the key of A that I got, that's going to be on my record. That's a different, that's E major, but coming from A major because there's a D chord in there. There is no D in the key of pure E major, but an E major chord can show up in several keys, you know. You got one in the key of B, your 4 chord would be an E major. You got one in A, and it'd be the 5 chord. Anyways, I don't want to go over 15 minutes. Keep on rocking this. There's your C sharp minor, E major, pentatonic. And when you get those going and you play them enough, you start hearing things, then you can start creating, you know what I mean, all kinds of things from them.